So as you're looking at this year, I think it's important to reflect on the one that just went by. And you look at the results that you have, not just the great ones, but the ones that you wouldn't have chosen again, that you had influence over. And we have to look at what was the process that got you there? What was it that you thought that triggered the ultimate result? Because the way that you think about your circumstances drives the results that you get. It is not the circumstances. Hey, happy New Year. I think this is the second week, maybe, of the new year. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Kris Plachy. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for tuning in. In keeping with it being kind of a new year, and I'm sure you're sort of in it and you're thinking about all the things that go with the new year, I wanted to give you this little nugget to think about. I don't know if you're anything like me in the new year. I also try and not ingest a lot of information because I'm trying to access all my own insight. So even as this podcast drops, I'm going to be at a writing retreat myself as a participant, which I'm so excited about. And so I don't want to give you too much else to think about. So this will be intentionally short, but in putting together all of the ideas and the videos, and ultimately what I ended up doing is writing a book called Believe, 1 month to believe, 1 year to achieve. I started thinking about that notion that everything that exists, really, with the exception of like nature, everything that exists that's man-made, started with somebody's thought, started with an idea, right? Like if I look just in my house at the stuff that I have, I'm looking behind me, there's books, there's candles, there's paintings, there's everything that I have, everything that you have, everything started because somebody had an idea. Somebody had an idea to take these glasses that I'm holding up if you were watching the video and put, leopard print here and make the frames pink. Somebody had that idea. Everything exists because somebody had a thought. What we know from the thought model, right, introduced years ago to me by Brooke Castillo and then taught through her work at the Life Coach School, is that a thought initiates a process. Thought, feeling, action, result. Thought, feeling, action, result. So thoughts trigger how we feel, which trigger what we do, which trigger what we get. It's just as simple as that, right? So everything that you have in your life right now that is of you made or man-made, or relationships you have, connections that you have, are the derivative of, are the result of a process that started with a thought. So every result that you have in your life is the result of a process. Now, whether that process was conscious or not doesn't matter. It's a process. It exists. You followed it. Now, whether you were doing it on purpose, debatable, especially when it comes to results that we have that we didn't want. That's where I always like to say, just claim responsibility for it. Take accountability for it. It's so much better if you just say, well, didn't want this, but I can see how I got here because I followed the process, even though I wasn't paying attention. I had this thought, which triggered this feeling, which led to this action, which led to this result. Okay. Good to know. So every result that you have is the result of a process, and every process is initiated with a thought. So if you don't have something that you want, or you do have something in your life that you didn't want, what was the process? How did it happen? The better you get at evaluating that without judgment, the faster you'll move forward with saying, okay, well, if the process really doesn't change much, we know thoughts trigger feelings, trigger actions, trigger results. Think, feel, do, get. Think, feel, do, get, right? If we know that's the way it is, and I want a different get, I want a different result, then I need to rework it. So if this is what I want, what do I have to do? If this is what I have to do, what do I need to feel to do it? And what do I need to think to feel that way? Everything you have is a result of a process. Whether you wanted it or not, somewhere along the line, a thought that you had, that you believed, triggered the process to deliver it. It's like Carolyn Elliott says, right, in her book, that Having is wanting. So whatever you have, there was a reason that you created it. Now, you might argue with me that you didn't want it, but she argues that everything you have, you clearly did want, or you wouldn't have it. So I think that's actually kind of invigorating, even though it's I remember reading it and being like, OMG, having is wanting. It sort of has changed everything too, from even like how I go about my business and things I bring into my life. Like, do I want them? If I want them and I have them, do I really want them after I have them? Does that make sense? So as you're looking at this year, I think it's important to reflect on the one that just went by. And you look at the results that you have, not just the great ones, but the ones that you wouldn't have chosen, again, that you had influence over. And we have to look at what was the process that got you there? What was it that you thought that triggered the ultimate result? Because the way that you think about your circumstances drives the results that you get. It is not the circumstances, right? It's like when people say to me all the time, well, the economy is affecting my business. I don't know if that's true, love, because there's a lot of other businesses that are thriving. So you can believe that. You can believe that it's the economy that led to the results that you have in your business. Or you could believe that I have thoughts about the economy that led to how I feel, which led to my actions as a leader of this business. Which one gives you more power? That's what I would ask. Which one gives you more agency? Even if you don't like it. Who cares if you don't like it? Which one gives you more agency? So every result is the result of a process. If you want to have different results, don't start with the result and just wish for it. Look at the process that got you where you are. That is my tidbit for today, in brief, so that you don't feel overwhelmed with information at the beginning of the year. Talk to you next time.